The year is 1815, a time of great change and opportunity. The sun blazed upon June. Among the crowd, Edmond Dante, a young sailor with eyes full of dreams, disembarked from his ship, the Pharaon. His heart raced with excitement and anticipation. He carried himself with the vigor of youth and the promise of a bright future. Every step he took was filled with purpose. Every glance forward was a look into a hopeful tomorrow. His laughter echoed across the bustling docks as he embraced his beloved, the beautiful Mercedes. Their love was a beacon of joy amidst the chaos of the port.
Mercedes, my love, we'll be married soon. Captain Leclerc has promised me his command. Our dreams are finally within reach.
Edmund, this is wonderful. Our future shines brighter than the sun on the sea. Together we can conquer any challenge.
Little did they know, envy's shadow already loomed, threatening to extinguish their shared dreams. In the shadows, unseen forces conspired against them. Their happiness, like a ship caught in a sudden storm, was about to be dashed against the rocks of betrayal. The calm before the storm was deceptive, and their love would soon be tested by the cruel hands of fate. Unbeknownst to Edmund, a letter was being written, a letter that would change the course of his life forever. It was a letter filled with lies and deceit, a letter that would set the wheels of his downfall in motion. The conspirators, driven by jealousy and greed, plotted in the dark corners of the city. Their whispers carried the weight of betrayal, and their actions would soon shatter Edmund's world. As Edmund and Mercedes walked hand in hand, dreaming of their future, they were blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to engulf them. Their love, though strong, would be tested in ways they could never have imagined. Imprisoned within the bleak walls of Chateau d'If, a fortress on a desolate island, Edmund faced a living death. The cold, damp cell became his world. Days bled into nights, each one an eternity of despair.
Why? What have I done to deserve this fate?
Hope withered within him. He raged against the injustice, the betrayal. His body grew thin and weak, but his spirit hardened, tempered by the fires of his anguish. He clung to life, fueled by a burning desire for answers, for justice. One day, a scratching sound broke through the monotony of Edmund's confinement. He watched, his heart pounding, as a grimy hand emerged from a newly formed hole in the wall. An old man, his face etched with years of hardship, squeezed through the opening. This was Abbe Faria, a fellow prisoner who had mistaken his way while tunneling to freedom.
My son, it seems we are destined to be companions.
Edmund, hesitant at first, found himself drawn to the old man's warmth and wisdom. Faria became his mentor, his teacher, a beacon of light in the consuming darkness. Years passed. Under Faria's tutelage, Edmund transformed from a naive sailor into a learned man. The abbé taught him history, languages, science and philosophy, opening his mind to the vast knowledge of the world. He also instructed him in the art of swordsmanship, ensuring Edmund could defend himself.
Faria shared his vast knowledge, covering subjects from mathematics to literature, and even the intricacies of human nature. Most importantly, he revealed the location of a hidden treasure on the remote island of Monte Cristo, a secret that could change Edmund's fate.
"This treasure, Edmund," Faria said, his voice weak but resolute, "is your key to freedom and justice. Use it wisely. Use it to right the wrongs you have suffered and to bring justice to those who have wronged you."
When Faria died, Edmund was devastated, feeling the loss of his mentor deeply. But he remained resolute. He carried his mentor's memory and his teachings in his heart. With a newfound purpose, he planned his escape meticulously, his spirit tempered by years of suffering and now fueled by the promise of retribution and the hope of a new beginning. Edmund escaped by sewing himself into Faria's burial shroud. The icy waters of the sea embraced him. He swam towards freedom, leaving behind the prison that had held his body, but not his spirit. He reached the Isle of Monte Cristo, a place of rugged beauty and hidden riches.
The treasure was real. Edmond Dante, the naive sailor, was dead. In his place stood the Count of Monte Cristo, a man of wealth, power and unwavering purpose. He would use his newfound fortune as a weapon to exact his revenge. Years later, the Count of Monte Cristo arrived in Paris. He was an enigma, shrouded in mystery and whispered rumors. His charisma was undeniable, his wealth unmatched. He moved through society with an air of quiet power, drawing his enemies closer, unaware of his true identity. "The Count of Monte Cristo," a guest whispered. "They say he is incredibly wealthy, but his past is a mystery." The Count played his part perfectly. He was a phantom, a whisper, always watching, always waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The Count orchestrated the downfall of his enemies using their own greed and corruption against them. He exposed Fernand, now a respected count, as a traitor who had betrayed his friend and stolen the love of his life. Danglars, consumed by his lust for wealth, was brought to financial ruin.
"You reap what you sow," the Count whispered, his voice as cold as the grave.
His enemies, blinded by their own hubris, never suspected the hand that guided their destruction. They were puppets, dancing to the tune of the Count's intricate plan. The Count of Monte Cristo became an instrument of justice, but his quest for vengeance exacted a heavy toll. He had embraced the darkness to fight darkness, and in doing so, he had sacrificed a part of himself. He had found a measure of peace, but true happiness remained elusive. As he sailed away from France, leaving behind the wreckage of his enemies' lives, he realized that true justice often comes at a great cost. The line between vengeance and forgiveness was thin indeed, and he had walked it to its very edge.